Have you ever been afraid of public speaking? Have you ever been afraid that you're going to forget the words you were supposed to say, become a nervous wreck, poop your pants? I have. Well, except for that last part. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, there was once a time I experienced the worst public speaking nightmare. My 10th grade homecoming. We had all gotten together at our pep rally, and every class was responsible for coming up with a skit. Now this was a big deal, and for weeks we had worked hard to put together the best skit ever. Now I was invited to participate, and I was feeling pretty good because at the time I always thought I could always come up with entertaining material. So in my mind, this was going to be a home run. I'm waiting on the sidelines for my cue, and I'm feeling like a duck in a pond because above the surface, my confidence is higher than Snoop Dogg at a rap concert. But underneath the surface, the pressure is crushing me like a ship underwater. I finally get the cue to enter, and I bust in there like the Kool-Aid man, beaming with confidence. But as I turned towards the crowd, I was more frozen than a Disney production. Thousands of eyeballs looked down on me. 5 seconds went by. 10 seconds went by. I couldn't even utter a single word. Some of my classmates jumped in to try and revive me. Eugene, you got this. Nothing happened. Then the laughter came down. And I guess you could say I accomplished my goal because people were entertained. Our class ended up finishing in last place, but that really wasn't a big deal. What hurt the most was all the people that I let down. And since that event, I have never been more embarrassed. After that traumatic event, I avoided public speaking like I do my ex-girlfriend. And yet the funny thing is, your past always comes back and resurfaces, am I right? Years later, I'm working in San Francisco, and my boss at the time, not Alex, she says, Eugene, I need you to do a presentation. I said, I'm sorry, what? I panicked. All of a sudden, all the memories came back, and for days, I brooded and brooded until finally, I'm having lunch with my mom. And she notices something wrong with me. She goes, son, what's going on? I tell her, Mom, I'm freaking out about this presentation I have to do. I'm worried that I'm going to relive that moment from high school. I'm quickly met with a smack across the head, the one that only moms get away with. She goes, son, what are you so afraid of? That you're going to forget what you're supposed to say, everyone's going to laugh at you? I'm sorry to break it to you, but that already happened. If you failed last time because you froze on stage, then all you need to do this time is say something. Clearly, she was setting the bar low. But you know what? That pep talk changed me. Because when the presentation came, after getting through all that anxiety, I got the first word out, and the second word, and the third word, and the fourth word. And 20 minutes later, I was done with the presentation. It was in this process that I remembered a quote from Will Smith. He said, or he compared life to building brick walls. He said, when you're building a wall, you don't set out to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall ever. You don't start there. You start with one brick, and you aim to lay down that brick as perfectly as you can. You do that every day, and guess what happens? You have a wall. So, ladies, gentlemen, let me ask you this question. What's your wall? Is it to be a good public speaker? To be a great public speaker? Is it to be the best banker? Maybe even CEO one day? Whatever your wall is, start with that one brick, keep building, and do not be afraid to rebuild. Let me say that one more time. Do not be afraid to rebuild, because there are always going to be things that come along that break down your wall, right? There's going to be wrecking balls, hurricanes, earthquakes. There are always things that come around that send you a couple steps back, even after you've taken all these steps forward. That's just the way it works. Some people call this phenomenon failure. Failed test, failed relationship, a failed business. I like to call this, or I like to refer to this by its other name. Its lesser known name. Experience. You see, without experience, we wouldn't know how to make up for our mistakes. We wouldn't know how to rebuild our walls better, faster, stronger, more resilient. And without experience, we wouldn't understand that the process for achieving perfection is simply a 3-step process. Build, rebuild, repeat. Thank you.